Glenn, don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. Love it.
Wallpaper?
What's that?
I think we're live.
That's
Facebook
my
right now.
that's my retro wall.
Okay, we're
Nice
live.
retro wall. Hey, we are on Huntley Fall Fest Facebook page. How you guys doing? Appreciate your time here. Listen, Huntley Fall Fest is going on September 25th, 26th, 27th, and you guys are playing on that stage, so that's going to be great. The stage is sponsored by First National Bank of Omaha. You know, and at Huntley Fall Fest, we've got the car show, the carnival, all the fun stuff, food, local breweries. So Hop Brewery is out there, and they actually made a couple beers for us. One is a Fall Fest IPA, and, you know, we'll ask that question, but you guys are right there on the can, man.
You can almost taste it.
Right there. I know, it tastes really good. And also an Oktoberfest. So we've got an IPA and an Oktoberfest. And yeah, so we're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's been 11 weeks, 12 weeks. This is, I think, our 11th interview session, and I'm happy to have it with the guys from HIFI Superstar. How you guys doing?
Thanks, Jim. We're happy to be with you. And this is the first time I've seen Glenn in 4 months.
Yeah.
Really? So you guys haven't practiced at all through this whole thing?
You know, that's the thing. I don't know why we don't, but we go to a show and we just play. And we've played the same set so often that we just know it. And but I miss them. I mean, I miss the terrible jokes and the fun that we have together. But yeah, we just get together and play.
If we do get together, it's more towards the in the winter, because then we work on maybe some new material and stuff, like new covers. But otherwise, you know, we don't really get together all that much to rehearse. Because
you guys just play.
What's that?
You just play.
We know the material that we do so well that we just show up and just play. I know.
But we also too though, if we have the song like that car song, I mean, that was simple. We just listened to it and worked on it at home, and then we got together, we played it for the first time, and it was great. So
yeah, we have this idea. If a new song comes along, everybody learn your parts, and we should be able to just play it. And so last time we did that, we just kind of learned a song. We showed up at our gig and we played it, and it sounded just like the Cars.
That's awesome. So why don't you guys give us a little bit of the HIFI Superstar history? How long you've been together? How long you've been a band? Those kind of things. And
it's complicated.
Glenn, you know where it started, don't you? Glenn, do you remember where it started? Who's responsible for bringing us together?
Who's responsible for bringing us together?
Guy Dominic.
Oh, you're talking way back,
right? Yeah. Guy Dominic from High Infidelity brought Glenn and I together in his band, and that's when I first met Glenn.
Yeah.
And, from there, it was Glenn and I have always been together.
It was all downhill from there.
All downhill from there. All the other parts changed. Bass players, guitar players, but Glenn and I have always been together. How long, Glenn? Jeez.
Oh, geez, what, 24, 5 years or something?
We had all our hair. It was
Well, it's probably been more like 30 years, Mike.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
Because we went through the whole Thirsty Whale phase together, and yeah, I mean, he's the only drummer I'll ever have.
So you guys have been, how long you been playing? 30 years together?
Probably.
Yeah, probably close to that.
I
was
14.
As HIFI Superstar, or just together as friends and you've known each other?
No, we
different
never
iterations.
Each other. Yeah.
Different iterations of different bands together. Like we did like a hair band for a while during the Thirsty Whale days, and then we got to more of a heavier band. We changed our name, and then I think we kind of went off and did our own things, and I played with a bunch of bands, and then we came back together, and so And
So tell,
like like Richie and all those guys from the Thirsty Whale days. We've known them forever, so we all have are cut from the same cloth, I guess, from those days.
you miss places like Thirsty Well?
No,
No.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool, actually. Yeah, we had.
I don't miss the place, but I miss the time. Just how much there was like an original scene, and like you can actually like go out and play a bunch of original music, and people paid attention to you. But I miss that part of it.
We used to have this thing that we would do it every time we went to the Thirsty Well, where he would pretend he was throwing up, and a
Okay.
circle would open up around him because everybody thought he was just always sick. It was hilarious.
Is that just nerves getting up on stage? Or
No,
what?
No, it's kind of like we're punking people. I was gonna puke all over them, but then I didn't.
And then we used to do this thing, Glenn, remember where we'd say, we'd pick somebody out in the crowd and we go, hey, let's convince him that his name is Steve. And we'd go up to him and go, Steve, how you been? How you been?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
we wouldn't let up until the guy went, well, yeah, people tell me I look like Steve.
We were very young.
Yeah, so.
I guess I didn't realize that you guys were together for 30 years as, different iterations, but as a band. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have some originals of your own as well, right?
We started
Hi-Fi Superstar originals, or
started out as an original band long ago, and we never thought that we would be a cover band until we started doing covers. And it started out. We got some notoriety for a song that we wrote called "Milk and Honey." Glenn took the song and entered it into a Billboard contest. Billboard magazine was having they have a contest every year for songwriters, and Glenn entered this song, and we won first place in the rock category.
Yeah.
And so we got a lot of press from that. It was fun, and it opened a few doors for us. And we always loved 70s music, right, Glenn? It was kind of my favorite stuff.
Still do.
Singer-songwriter era. And we started adding a couple of 70s stuff that we really loved. And before you know it, we thought, well, why don't we start dressing like 70s stuff? We bought all kinds of bell-bottom jeans and high heel shoes. And we thought, this is cool. We're going to be if we're going to do covers, we're going to do like cool 70s covers, and that'll be our thing. And, not too many people were into the 70s.
We were.
And I remember one time we were in Hoffman Estates at a fest opening up for Seventh Heaven. And I broke one of my heels off my high. And we were staggering off stage, and Richie was there. And Richie said, hey, I got this idea. I want to start booking bands into festivals and grow my brand with other bands. And I want you guys to be part of it. And that's how we connected with Richie. And he set us up and got us out there and helped us get our name out there. And he still does. He still books us. Still does.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started. But we still do a lot of 70s stuff in our set. It's such a great era for us. We just enjoy that music. So
is it the songs? You said the writing of the songs or writing of the lyrics. What is it about the 70s? And I'm going to share with you that Becky and I have been listening to, you go to Alexa and you just tell her to play whatever. And we've been telling her to play either 70s rock or 70s punk. And it's interesting what 70s punk is, or what they consider 70s punk is. Because,
what do they consider it?
Oh, I mean, Supertramp is 70s punk.
Don't
I know, right?
It is?
Van Halen, but think about that just for a second. When you think about the 70s, what do you think about in music?
It be back to my childhood is why I think I like it so much. I have so many memories and connections with a lot of those songs that were popular on the radio. that when I hear it, it still brings me back. And and the songs were written, there's a different style of writing now, how songs are written. They have like 5 or 6 different writers for one song, and there's a different hook for each verse and each chorus. And back then it was so simple. It was, chorus, it was verse, chorus, verse, maybe a little guitar solo, outro, and you're done. But, I just love that music though, still. But my kids are like, some of the songs I listen to, my kids are like, "What is that? That's old." Yeah, well, I'm old.
Back in the 70s, though, as you got through the 70s, disco era and all that kind of stuff, that was more pop radio and more stuff that was on the radio. So when you think of alternative, or you think of punk, or you think of everything else, that was rock of what we know rock is today, in my opinion.
Yeah, right. I guess. Yeah.
So to have Supertramp or Van Halen or somebody like that in Alexa's world as the punk kind of just blows me away.
But that's kind of like a Cheap Trick in the 70s was kind of like alternative music in a way. They weren't what they are now, but they always seemed like the alternative rock music. So they were like the beginning of the alternative music before people even knew what it was,
And Glenn, to your point, Cheap Trick's on that list as well, which is great because they're a great band. That term alternative didn't happen until the 90s.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it was already happening and nobody knew it.
Yeah. Punk back then is different than what punk is today.
Right.
And
yeah.
Alternative didn't happen back then. So it's try Alexa 70s punk and you'll be like, wow, I love all these songs.
I also like some of the 60s stuff too was really good. Some of the late 60s stuff was great, like Three Dog Night and
Chicago and
the Chicago stuff, and like some of the I love R&B, old R&B. I love the old Motown stuff. That's what I listen to when I'm just hanging out at home. I put that stuff on and I dig that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
You guys feel that music is lost in the world of media or sensationalism to the day?
Unlike, what do you mean lost? I don't.
So lyrics today, it's the same lyric over and over and over throughout the whole song. There are songs that today I'm like, man, I can't even listen to this because it's the same 10 words over and over and over. It's not really written anymore. There's no story. There's no, and I'm generalizing more than I probably should because there are a lot of good songs today. But for the most part, pop radio is ridiculously the same word over and over.
Yeah.
Is that lost in today's, world?
I don't think there's a today's anymore. It's just whatever. Like, I find a lot of stuff on YouTube that I like as opposed to just listening to the radio, So, sure. like the Teskey brothers. Have you heard of those guys?
Yep.
I love those guys, and they're like bringing back the old R&B, soul music, and they're really good. Their lyrics are pretty decent.
But you guys started out doing originals and then moved from original to covers. Did you feel like you wanted to do your own version of that cover, or did you just do the cover as it is?
Sometimes we take a little liberty with certain songs and add our own little inflection if we could. Yeah. But we're kind of purists when it comes to that stuff. We want to do it exactly the way it was done.
Yeah.
So we try to do it as best as we can to the original. And there's some fans that still enjoy that kind of music. We still get a lot of feedback for doing that kind of thing still.
Sometimes when you do that and you take it from what the song is and what people remember that song that maybe somebody hasn't heard for such a long time, and then you play it and you play it as close to the original as possible, that brings back a feeling and a memory for somebody, as opposed to owning it yourself.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe some of the newer songs, like the newer covers, if you do something more current, you can kind of take more liberty to it, because it doesn't have as much as a meaning, I guess, as the older songs, which are, kind of written in stone and very, classic. They want to hear that little keyboard part because it's so iconic to that song, and you got to have it there, so you do it.
Yeah. And you got to nail the solo for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or else, because those are iconic.
Yeah.
Michael, you ever get to a point where you're in the middle of a song like that, you're playing, and in your head you know exactly what you have to play, and then you get to that point, you're like, lost, it's gone?
Well, luckily, they don't give me a lot of responsibility. So we have a very, very competent guitar player. And so I play rhythm guitar. I just have to try and remember lyrics. That's my big issue. I start to make stuff up sometimes, but yeah.
Sometimes.
But
I do that though, Jim. Sometimes when you totally go blank, and then right before you're supposed to hit the beat, you were like, "Oh yeah, now I remember." But I think that's just old age setting in.
Right. How many songs do you know, Glenn?
The band or just personally?
Sure.
7, right?
7?
Yeah. A lot. We've got lots of songs that we know. Plus, I think what kind of muddies the waters a little bit is that we do like we do the medleys, which have tons of songs in them. So we know only little parts of songs. We don't know the full song. We just know a little part.
About 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Michael, for you as a vocalist, as a lead, what's the process? How many songs do you know? Like, can you just go and sing right now? Can you just sing a song if somebody yelled it out and said, "Hey, sing this song"?
I'm ready right now. Yeah, I'm able to play on the weekend acoustically, so I've tried to learn as much material as I can, because people will tip you graciously if you know the song that they want to hear. So I've tried to learn as much material as I possibly can, and if not, I go to Google and figure it out right on the spot. But and you know what? I just love music. I just love learning music. I love trying to figure out how people put chords together and melodies together, and try to do my best to figure out how I can do it and add it to what I do. I'm going through this like Bill Withers phase, where I'm trying to learn as many Bill Withers songs as I can, because I just love him. But it's not easy. He's really a complicated guy. So, but yeah, so I know lots of material, and I'm learning all the time. Yeah.
That's awesome. You did a great job on our Huntley Fall Fest live. That was an amazing day.
Yeah, it was. What a great, trying to raise money and benefit people that are out of work. I mean, I was honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
And I loved your positive attitude going right into it. Oh, we lost Glenn. No worries, he'll come back. But I loved your positive look right at it from the get-go. I mean, you were just 100% positive and running with it. It was great.
I know. I'm just wired that way. You have choices in life, and I choose to be positive as much as possible.
That's awesome.
Here's the
So I was going to ask both you guys, and Glenn's on vocally but not visually, so I can hear you, Glenn, but I can't see you.
I lost you there for a minute. Can you see me there? The kids are online and knocked me off.
Mario Kart.
They're all.
What do you have? Three kids? 4 kids? What do you have?
3.
3 kids. That's awesome.
Mine are younger though, so
And Michael, you have 2?
I have 4.
4.
4 kids in this house. That's why I'm hiding all the time.
That's why you're hiding.
Not enough places to hide in this house. Yeah,
you don't want to hide from your kids. I hear you love your kids and hang out with them all the time, man.
Oh, I can't get enough.
Yeah.
Can't get enough. Yeah, the age ranges are from 24 all the way to 11. So I'm a kid sometimes. I'm a teenager sometimes. You know.
Are you competitive with your kids?
Yeah.
Are you a competitive guy? How about that?
Competitive guy. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Right before we got on, my daughter and I, she's 11, had a drawing contest. And we do this all the time, probably once a week. And my other daughter said, I want you guys to draw a pineapple. So we drew a pineapple, and we usually make mom be the judge. And I always lose, you know, even if mine's better, I always lose. So I'm very competitive. Yeah, we play cards, we play games all the time, and the point of the game is try to win.
So are you sure you always lose?
No, that's the thing. My pineapple tonight looked, well, I'll keep it to myself.
I understand that you're a terrible winner, but when you win, you go around the house and you're like, "We are the champion," kind of.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you know what? Boy, I don't have very many victories in this house. So when I do, I celebrate big time. Yeah, I let everybody know. My neighbors know it. I'm a terrible. Yeah,
That's awesome. And Glenn, did I just see that your kids are learning to ride a bike? No, that wasn't you.
They have learned. They have learned, Yao.
Yeah.
They
awesome.
my 2 youngest, they learned like in a day. Well, I shouldn't say that. Grant tried it a couple of years ago and just was not having it because he kept falling. He didn't want to fall, and then finally we're just like, "You're gonna do it. Today's the day," and he did. He got it. So Caitlin, who's 6, and Grant, who's 8, are riding their bikes now officially, and they're doing really good. So,
you know, do you look at the world today and the world when you grew up as so much differently with your kids? And then when you tie in the music to it, you remember how you felt when you heard a song and
oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I don't, my kids don't have that same thing because it's all, you know, computers and YouTube and games and Minecraft and Roblox, and, you know, so it's not the same thing. But occasionally you'll hear a classic song on one of their things they're watching, and I'll play it and they're like, "Hey, that's from so-and-so game," or "That's from that show that I watched on YouTube." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've been listening to that for years." So there's that.
That's great.
Yeah, my daughter has become, like, she's 11 and she loves Steely Dan because we listen to.
She's brilliant.
We listen to a separate Pandora station when we're playing games, and so all these songs are like seeping into her head, and she can tell me the artist. Like if a song comes on, she'll go, "Oh, that's John Denver," or, you know, "That's Steely Dan," whatever. I'm so
cool.
proud. So proud.
I'm proud of her. That's great.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Our kids were into the obscure. So
to who?
The obscure music that was out there. It wasn't always, you know, mainstream. And Becky and I are like 80s kids. You know, we love 80s music, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, and then alternative, but, you know, David Bowie for me, and Genesis, and bands that you don't know, like Crack the Sky and some of the other obscure stuff. But then, so
were you more of a progressive rock guy, or are you more of a hard rock guy?
I'm going to say a progressive first, before anything else.
Kind of like Yes and Genesis and The Who and
Go.
Yeah, you know, my mom was my first concert was Willie Nelson. How about that?
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
Good songwriter.
First concert was.
It was It was the Golf Mill Concert in the Round. I don't know if you remember Golf Mill when they had that circle theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was like 12 years old or around that age, maybe younger. And my mom had the subscription to go see shows there. And I got to tell you, I look back and I'm like, holy crap, the artists that I saw, Willie Nelson, Neil Diamond, you know, bands like that or musicians like that. And you're within 10 rows because I think that theater in the round was 10 rows or less.
My first concert was there. I saw the Jackson 5 and the OJs.
Nice.
That was my first concert at that Mill Run theater, the concert in the round.
That's a good first concert.
That was awesome concert.
We probably hung out together and didn't know it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was so though when I went.
Yeah, so I moved from that to prog rock.
Okay.
Which I guess I would have to blame my oldest brother, who, again, at that point, you know, looked at 70s disco and said, I'm not having any of that. What else is out there? And, you know, Rod Stewart's A Cheap Trick and the early Rod Stewart. I'm not talking the later.
Oh, yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, prog rock.
So when you say, okay, so you're early prog rock, so kind of like Rush and stuff like that, right? Now, were you into any of the older prog stuff, like when Toto had a second coming in like the early 2000s, where they won all prog and they were huge in Europe and all that? And
yeah, I love that. I love that. And I still love that today. I mean, if you
that's good.
If you ever want to ruin songs for yourself, listen to my car karaoke stuff, because typically I'm singing songs from, you know, the early 70s to late 70s prog rock stuff. And Jim, I'm like, no one knows this. I might as well ruin it anyway. So.
Oh, you do a good job here. We do concerts.
Hey, Michael, I'm like you though. I love music, and I just take this the right way. I don't care about how I sing it. I just like to go sing it.
It's cool. That's good.
Yeah, so
it's good.
What is your history, guys? What, you know, have you always been musicians? Have you always been wanting to be in a band, or did you do something else prior to the band world? Michael, how about you?
Started playing guitar when I was 12. I was in the orchestra in 4th grade, so that's too far back. But
you're 25 now.
25 now. And you know, it started out. I bought all these beautiful guitars. I had these beautiful Gibson Les Paul guitars, and then Van Halen came along, and I had to get rid of them and buy these crappy Kramer guitars. And I would lock myself down in the basement and try and learn that first Van Halen album. And every day I'd go down there, and it was set up like a concert. I had colored lights. I had built this room, and I tried to learn Van Halen as best as I could, you know, and for like a year. And I lived in Chicago, or in Park Ridge at the time, and then moved into the city. And then by that time, it was more like the 80s music, and it was a lot easier to play. I didn't have to play. And then, just kind of wove my way through musicians and bands, and found Glenn. And
what are you self-taught, or are you a musician by schooling?
Guitar self-taught. No, I started taking lessons in this little town of Plymouth, Indiana. I had this small little music shop, and my guitar teacher was this big stoner, and I was learning from the Mel Bay guitar book, and I'd come in to practice, and he'd say, "Hey, let's learn Stairway today. What do you think?" And he'd take my guitar run across the room. He's just this cool stoner dude, and so that's kind of where I got started, but.
Hey, you foghat!
I'll tell you what. Naturally, I'm not. I have to take I take voice lessons, because your instrument, you have to learn how to use it. And I'm not just a natural born singer. I really have to try and figure out how my voice works. And so I still take voice lessons online, but I just want to be able to do that as well as possible. So I'm still always learning, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. Glenn, how about you? What's your musical history? Always a drummer? Always wanted to be a drummer?
Kind of. I think I knew I wanted to be in music when I saw the Jackson 5, but I didn't know what until later. My brother's 6 years older, so he always used to bring home albums. Like he'd bring home like Ted Nugent and UFO and Rush. He's like, dude, check these guys out, they're great. So of course when I heard Rush, I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to play drums. So I just used to beat on things, and then my mom and dad finally bought me a drum set for Christmas one year. And then I taught myself how to play, and then I started getting good. So then I took private lessons for like 7, 8 years. And I did some drum and bugle chords and stuff like that. And then I started messing around with guitar, and so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm learning how to play bass now. Taking bass lessons online so I can get better playing bass. So
That's awesome. Hey, let's say hello to a couple people. Michael Dominic is on, Jake Werner, Lori,
Guys.
Jody, Tony Ross, Dennis Kramer, Carrie Folks. A whole bunch of people are on watching us right now. So thank you guys for joining us.
Hey, guys.
That's awesome. So Michael, you didn't have any other prior things that you might wanted to do before joining a band or before growing your hair out and becoming the rock star you are today?
You know what? I went to college for a couple of years. I was going to be a psychologist because I'm fascinated with the way people think. I went 2 years and ended up moving to Chicago. And from there, I thought, you know what? I don't know what I want to do. Maybe want to do music full time. And so I started meeting some people and going to shows and talking to people and figuring out, who I wanted to connect with, and then just kind of going down that road. And that led me to Guy Dominic.
Well, but first you thought you'd be a model for a while.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. I didn't want to just throw that out there and say that, but
all right. So,
I
That's what friends do.
I do have some advertising pieces that you were in that I can bring up if people want to see your.
When I was younger, I had more hair and I was better looking for sure. So,
oh, come on now.
I had some friends of mine that said, "Hey, man, you should just try this. Why don't you give it a try?" And so I did it for a while, for a few years, and got to travel and live that lifestyle. It's fun if you're young. It's a fun lifestyle.
You did really good though, Mike. I mean, you were living off it and making a good income for a little while there.
I was, yeah. And then I started getting into music, and I thought I gotta grow my hair out, and so that was kind of I started growing my hair and got into music. Yeah.
What's your favorite modeling job gig that you've ever done?
Oh man, there's a lot of them. Man, I was
on the stories. That's why I'm laughing there.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing about modeling. If you are, I don't know if I can tell this. Well,
you can tell it.
If you do any underwear modeling, you make 3 times your hourly rate. So those are always good gigs to have. So you could work 3 hours and walk away with $900. So, I mean, there's no easier money. Even if you shook a tree, there's no easier way to make money. So some of those, I got to meet Cindy Crawford. That was one thing. But here's the thing also, I'll tell you what. So when you do these runway shows and you're back there changing, everybody's getting dressed. I mean, you see everybody without their clothes on, and we're working. But so that was kind of cool. But I got to travel. I got to travel, and other people paid for it, and so that was kind of cool. And I go to different towns, and yeah, it was fun.
Have people ever recognized you from your underwear commercials?
Hey, not from the head up. Pa!
Push.
Woo!
That's awesome.
Hey now.
That's awesome. And Glenn always wanted to be a drummer. I think I asked that before, but did you ever want to not be a drummer? I know you're playing bass now. What's the idea?
Oh no, I just enjoy music. I have to plug in here, and my battery's getting low. I just enjoy music, so I want to, because I also kind of mess around and write some of my own stuff. Not that it's good or anything, but it just keeps my mind active. So I just want to be better at playing bass on my goofy songs. So I'm doing that. But I also want to, I went to school for a while for mechanical engineering. So I was doing that to try to make money or to pay bills, I should say. We all had to have a real job to pay the bills while we were trying to be a musician. So I did that. So I have an engineering background. So
nice, but your passion is music, and thank God.
of course, yeah. And it's not just one type of music; it's all music.
So, Michael, I'm going to throw this one out at you. Who's a better disc golf game player, you or your son Bennett?
Well, here's the deal. So when it comes to putting, I can beat that kid every time. But if we go on the golf course, he's just got the strength and the mechanics that I don't have. That's a great game, by the way. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but you don't have to pay for any green fees. You just show up, and I mean, there's.
Is that just hitting some golf balls? You're saying?
No, it's a frisbee disc golf.
Frisbee golf.
Oh, frisbee golf. Okay, what is that?
We are totally into it. Well, they have these courses set up for frisbee golf, and they have tournaments. And Bennett and I have gotten really in. I mean, he's really into it, and he's going to drag me into it too. So, but it's a cool sport. I mean, it's really fun.
You play at Randall Oaks?
He plays everywhere,
Yeah.
and he's gonna enter a tournament coming up in about a month. So, and he's really, really good. So it's pretty cool to see, because who knows? I mean, he's just talented at everything he does. But
and
putting,
Glenn, when you look at this game, it's not like regular frisbees, right, Michael?
it's a totally different.
Is it?
You have a driver frisbee, you have a like a mid-range frisbee, and you have a putting frisbee. So it's almost like golf.
Yeah, it says disc golf is a flying disc sport in which players throw a disc at a target. Oh, so you have a target. That looks like a squirrel cage.
It is. It's weird. Yeah, it's chains. It's a bunch of chains, and you got to nail that thing, man. And it takes finesse to get that disc in that cage there.
I mean, I've heard the term before, frisbee golf, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's kind of
it's so cool. But it's
I love
something that I can do with my son, and
right.
I just try to find all these things that we can do together. So
yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Shannon Dominic says hi too, guys.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
We love her.
So, Michael, you have your guitar with you. Do you typically have that when you're sitting in your house? Is it usually within an arm's reach?
I have a guitar almost in every room. Yeah. I can't help myself.
That's awesome. So if somebody called out a song right now, you'd be able to just pick it up and, like John Denver, pull a John Denver song.
Anything but John Denver. Yeah.
Anything but John Denver? Are you not a fan?
I know if Shannon Dominic puts up a request, it's going to be a Foreigner song. So I'm ready.
Totally. Absolutely. So you're not a John Denver fan, or?
I am, and people request that all the time on the weekends when I play. So I've got to learn that, but yeah.
Oh, so you didn't learn it yet, huh?
No, I got to get to it. I'm getting to
Which one would you learn?
it. Which one would you like to hear?
What was his? I'm
You know
trying to
what I'm
remember.
going to tell you? I'm going to tell you Rocky Mountain High.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
if you haven't listened to the words completely, like just sit and listen to the words. Don't listen to anything else. Don't listen to the music. Just listen to the words and then realize what the song's about. It's a pretty amazing song from
I will
John
do
Denver.
that. Yeah. People request that stuff all the time. So I'll get to it.
What's the
Yeah.
hardest what's the hardest thing not being on stage right now? Is it retaining what you know or learning a new song?
Well, we'll find out, right, Glenn?
I'm sorry. What was that?
What's harder right now? Retaining what you know or learning a new song? Since you haven't been
Um,
playing for a while. Heck, the last time I saw you was at the Huntley Goes Bald event, right? That's the
Right.
last time I saw you.
Yeah.
I think it might be a little harder to learn newer songs because it's like your mind is so full of all the other songs, you can only fill it up so much, and then you have to try to shove a new song in there, and something comes out the other end, and you don't remember stuff anymore. I don't know. I can't remember stuff like I used to anymore. Here, this is a song, John Denver song that I like, "Sunshine on My Shoulder."
Great
Makes me
song.
happy,
It's a great song.
right?
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
What key is it in?
Um,
Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Is it an A?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
I don't either.
Um,
But if there's a tip involved, I'll give it a try.
Well, you guys are on Saturday at Huntley Fall Fest. It is the early slot. You guys usually play the after party for Huntley Fall Fest too, don't you?
sometimes.
Maybe the unofficial after party, if it
Yeah,
will.
sometimes it's really cool. That we get to open the fest. Really, we're the first band I think that on that Saturday.
Right.
So yeah, it's an honor. We've been connected with Bryant for a long time, and I just love what he does. He cares about the community, and he just does a great job. So
And Huntley Fall Fest, we're certainly crossing our fingers, if you will. Hopefully this thing is going to keep going on, and it's really just getting down to it right now. And right now we're still golden. We're still looking good. But
you know what? Bryant, he's going to find a way to make it happen, no matter what.
yeah, one way or the other. That live fest that we put together, that Brian put together so quick, really did want to involve everybody that was going to be on the stage at Fall Fest, just to get those players out there. But he reached out to me, and we put some other players in there, other musicians in there, that just made that whole day just amazing. And Soundworks just did a great job putting that whole thing together. So
isn't that cool? Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, that was flawless.
Did you have a favorite act from the day, a favorite musician from the day, or no?
There was a guy that played before me. I don't remember his name. He's the guitar player.
Kevin Molesky.
Yeah. And he's so good, so damn good. And I had to follow him.
He's so good.
Kevin
Molesky, I met Kevin. I think I met Kevin, probably 8-9 years ago at Dirty Nelly's.
Really?
And it was one of those, Michael, kind of like when I'm looking at you up on stage and you guys you're like on it and having a great time. I kind of just sit back and go, God, I love this song. And I love when these guys play this song. But it was the same thing with Kevin. I'm sitting there and I'm working the show, and I look up and this guy is playing this guitar in his band is like off stage, or he was playing solo by himself.
Need a band.
And I just was like, wow, this guy is amazing. So
he really is.
It was great to have him on that show.
Yeah, we had a speaker in the backyard, and we were listening before I got on. And so Kevin was on, and my wife was in the garden, which is way the other side of the yard. And she goes, "Wow, who's that? He's really good." And I go, "Yeah, I know. I have to follow him."
Well, if you haven't looked him up, though, look him up. Kevin Molesky. He's got a great library of original songs as well.
Yeah,
And he is a lyrical musician. You know, he writes really deep songs and lyrics that go along with it. It's just great.
Yeah, he's very good. So, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm influenced by him already. I've started working on my picking technique.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Oh, so he's a picker?
he's a picker.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. And he's a great guy down to earth too. Right here in Palatine, he plays the local scene like everyone else does. So
Yeah.
have you guys noticed throughout this whole 4 or 5 months that you haven't been on stage that you are able to find new music or new musicians that are doing that live thing that you're not able to see before?
I'm not. I don't. No, not for me. I haven't. I'm not very plugged in with everything that's going on. I've been keep doing other things to keep myself distracted. So I just haven't been online much. So
Teaching your kids how to ride bikes and stuff like that's
yeah,
important.
I do a lot of woodworking and stuff and projects around the house. I figure the busier I am, the better I am for myself.
So what do you mean woodworking? What do you do woodworking?
I built furniture and all kinds of things, cabinets and beds and
Glenn is so talented. I mean, his house is filled with things that he's built. It's amazing. He's really talented.
thanks, Mikey.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I enjoy it. It kind of like I go do that and I can kind of think. It's almost like therapy, I guess.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of relaxing for me. But I got to keep my mind busy with stuff like that, or I just start thinking about all these things and it, but kind of brings me down sometimes.
Sure. You always got to, again, passion, and woodworking is passion for you. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see some stuff, man. Go grab something and put it in front.
Built
Oh,
that.
there you go, right there, boom.
Yeah.
All the kids' stuff is on it, but I built that, and then I built all these cabinets in my office.
There you go. See?
Nice.
I told you.
That's
Nice.
great, man.
When I move out of my parents' basement, I'm getting a place.
Yeah, I'll come finish your basement for you. Your parents' basement, so you could live down there.
That's great. Michael, how about you? Have you seen any new other than Kevin Molesky's?
Yeah, Kevin and Pino Farina doesn't know this, but he's my new best friend. I've connected with Pino a couple of times, and just such a nice guy, and so talented.
Oh, yeah.
So it was nice to get connected with him, and to see some of the other people that I've never seen before. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, both of you guys are Huntley guys or that area, so
Close,
you guys can probably get together and do a collab soon.
Yeah, I think we're both working on the weekends, so we probably can't see each other live. But
That song's already been written.
yeah, yeah, I'd love to connect with him for sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Michael, what's your favorite song of all time?
Favorite song of all time? This is an easy one because my favorite album of all time is Asia by Steely Dan, and my favorite song of all time is Peg by Steely Dan. It's got all the elements that I love, all the chords, that's my favorite song. I never get tired of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you play it in your acoustic act?
No, I probably should though. I'm going
You probably should. I mean, come on. And are you still playing with David?
Oh, I play with Dave sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
How's
keyboard
Dave
player.
How's
we had
Dave
each other
doing?
before. Yeah, actually, a girl came up. She knew it on piano, and I sang it. But yeah, it was
That's
fun.
awesome.
I have a lot of favorite songs, Glenn.
Yeah, me too. I can't answer that one.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I couldn't even answer that one. I have so many that I like.
How about
Well,
you?
But
how about this, Glenn? How about what's your favorite song to play as a drummer? Because
uh,
that's different, right?
Christine 16.
yeah. Oh yeah. Um, geez, I don't have a song that's my favorite to play on drums. I just have maybe a song that I like to listen to. I don't, but see, I'm weird. Like if somebody would ask me what's my favorite song to listen to, like if I was on a desert island, I would bring like something obscure like Return to Forever or something like that. You know who those guys are?
I
They're
don't actually.
it's jazz fusion stuff. It's like really kind of obscure-ish type music that, but I like that stuff. I like, I'm a huge jazz fan. I can't, I couldn't even, I have no idea. I'm bad at this game.
You're bad at this game.
Yeah.
Who would you like to drum with side by side?
Ricky.
Anybody in history? Anybody in history?
I went for the best, baby.
um, oh geez, I don't know. Joe Morello, who was with Dave Brubeck, maybe, but he's no longer here with us. Max Roach, maybe Buddy Rich, maybe Steve Gadd. See, I'm bad at this game. I have too many.
No, those are great. Those are great drummers. I mean, you're naming drummers that no one knows.
Geez,
Or I shouldn't say that. Drummers know, but the
but
typical.
I mean, I always like the drummers that are just like untouchable. I mean, that's what's inspiring to me. Like Lenny White from Steve Smith, Vinny Colaiuta. Geez, who's the guy who played with? I can't remember his name. Forget it.
That's right. That's right.
There's a lot.
So one of my favorite all-time drum, I guess, songs, or I don't even know what you'd call it, live songs or live play, is Chester Thompson and Phil Collins playing together on any Genesis song where they're head to head and just playing together. Is that
Gotcha.
hard to do as a drummer? Have you ever done that as a drummer, and is that hard to do as a drummer, or you haven't?
I've never done that before, but I don't see what the benefit is.
Well, I mean, it's a drum battle, right? I mean, there probably isn't a benefit, but it's
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm bad at this game. I don't have an answer.
I love your drumming, though. That's all that matters. You're great drummer. So what's coming up? What are you guys looking forward to with the opening up of things? Have you booked any shows coming up? Have you, what are you working on?
I'm gonna be working on my son's toilet because he just plugged it. I gotta go and plug that.
I just unplugged one an hour ago. My daughter.
That's about what I'm gonna be doing next.
We have a couple of shows. Huntley Fall Fest is one of them, and then we're playing in Ottawa, the beginning of September. But that's it for now. We're just kind of really being cautious and easing into it. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough right now, especially when you have young kids or family that you have to be, responsible for in a, do you want to bring something home and that kind of thing. So, a lot of musicians and a lot of other artists have said one of the challenges isn't that I'm worried about either getting it or giving it to our fans, but that our fans are getting together as a group to come watch us play.
Yeah.
Is that a decision maker with you guys?
It's heavy on me. I always like to err on the side of caution, I guess. I'm just that type of person, my personality. And I would hate to, I would hate to bring something home to my family, and I would hate for, a gathering of people to give it to each other unknowingly. And I would feel terrible because that wouldn't, the intent of getting together is to have a good time. And I would hate for people to get sick from it. So I don't know. It's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It's chill.
I see both sides of it. Um, I can understand both sides of it, I guess, but I rather be wrong. Um, and what would I say?
Miss the stage and miss the fans.
Yeah, I
You'd
rather,
be wrong.
and unless we do it and everyone gets sick, and then then that would really suck.
Yeah, I agree. And you guys are playing on Saturday. You're in front of Serendipity. Are you? I asked you if you're playing later on that night as another show or whatever, but if you're sticking around, we've got Mr. Speed coming along. You guys Kiss fans?
Big Kiss fans, yeah. I think I might have a show that night though, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
Mr. Speed is an amazing Kiss tribute that is a national that's going to be on there Saturday night. So you are opening up for them, which is great.
Yeah. I'm going to try and be there. Yeah.
Yeah. They're fun. Well, what do you guys want to tell your fans, and what can they look forward to? And it's been an hour, if you can believe it or not. It's been a quick hour. What do you want to tell your fans?
Well, we so appreciate you being a part and enjoying what we do. And I mean, the reason we do it is for them. I mean,
well, and for us a little bit. For us, just a little bit, because we like the songs. So.
And we're just grateful that we have just a strong core of people that enjoy seeing us, and so we thank you for sure.
And how about you, man?
What's that? Yes.
How about you?
Yeah, ditto on that. I totally agree.
Nice.
Yeah, so keep those requests coming. I mean, we love that kind of interaction, and that's the kind of band we are. It's a very interactive group, and we like to get people involved and as much as possible. So appreciate it.
Where can they pick up some of your info? Webpage stuff, Facebook. What's your webpage?
HIFISuperstar.com. And
nice.
Everything's on there. There's videos, you can check out the original stuff. That's the place to go.
Yeah.
Can they buy a CD from you guys off that?
Yeah, they can. They can get it from iTunes. They can also get T-shirts or all that stuff from our website also.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate your time today. I appreciate Julie sending me a whole list of stuff that
I love that girl.
I mean, should I just throw some of these things out at you, Michael?
Yeah, let's throw them out there.
Let's see
yeah, go for it.
So, Michael, do you have a stage uniform that you wear?
Oh, many.
Anything in particular?
I'm sorry?
Anything in particular that any style of clothing that you like to wear?
Well, 70s stuff. Yeah, what did she say?
Should I just read it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. He wears women's size 9 jeans. Most of the pants on stage are
I'm a solid 9 jeans, and I'm an A cup.
Hey, good for you. That's what I gotta say. Good for you, Mike.
Solid A cup.
Does that go back to your modeling career?
A girl's got to keep in shape, so yeah.
So you still do painting? Is that what you do day job? Or?
I've got 4 kids, yeah. So got braces. They're $6,000. So yes.
So painting, like painting houses, outdoor, indoor. What do you mean?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
All of it, yeah. I've had a painting business for about 30 years.
And what's the company name?
Patterson Decorating.
Woohoo!
PattersonDecorating.com.
What do we? Yeah, I'll just take it. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
What else this girl
so
got?
you, you give back to the community, you give back to even your close friends as much as possible, I understand. Buying shoes for people and stuff like that. Is that a norm?
Buying shoes for people.
Like your roadie that didn't have shoes that you bought
Oh.
shoes for?
Oh, well, if there's a need, if I can help out,
Is that what happened to my shoes? He likes to steal shoes too.
So another one was you guys make bets as family internally or maybe neighbors, and what happens when you lose? You got to go like next.
Yeah.
What are some of the worst things? Or
there's a picture on my Facebook I took probably 6 years ago of my daughter with a Sharpie mustache on because she lost at cards. So if you lose in this house, the stakes are high.
yeah, like going next door and knocking on your neighbor's door dressed as a girl.
You do that. Yeah. And before my wife and I had kids, it was all right. Loser has to run to the corner, topless or whatever, and back. I mean,
well, that's not fair for her. That's not fair for her.
I don't like the rules.
You guys
but yeah. I guess I am pretty competitive. I mean, we make the stakes are high. If you lose in this house, you're going to pay for it. Yeah.
All right. So tonight on the HIFI Superstar page, can you post one of your favorite videos that you've taken scaring people?
Oh, there's so many. Yeah. Okay. I've got some good ones. My family is always on alert. They can never walk out of the bathroom without looking around.
So you've trained. Do you do that with the band as well, or just the family?
They're too old. They'll have a heart attack. These guys are too old. Yeah, I don't want that on my head.
But we know it's Mike though, so it'd be like, hey, what's up, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't even flinch. You'd just be like, oh, it's Mike.
Yeah, him again.
Hey, go get the speakers out of the car.
Awesome. Well, if you guys didn't know this, I'm gonna share this with you now. You are on the Huntley Fall Fest IPA beer label.
Check it out. We're famous.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out because my virtual background, but go pick that up at So Hopped out right there on Route 47. You guys are on the label. How does that feel?
Yeah, I'm going to make a trip out there. For sure. It's not too far, but I'm excited about tasting their beer.
Yeah, and once we get through all this, Jim, we still got to get some photos.
yeah, we've actually talked about that a couple times. Yeah, right. Yeah. The last time was at the Huntley Goes Bald, and then this whole thing happened like 2 weeks later or a week later. So yeah, it was like,
yeah.
Well, I know what I'm going to wear. You
guys have been great.
Because I'm a size 9 and an A cup. I got my outfit laid out for the photos. I'm ready.
Perfect. I still love the photos that you guys used that we did years ago. I mean, that was just so fun. And I love the way you guys did all the different aspects of that. And obviously, Glenn jumping like that is always just a fun little jump, man. I love it.
Yeah, we've used those quite a bit. Yeah.
So we are 12 minutes over time, and not that I am counting numbers, but we like to keep it as close to time as possible with all the other players doing some live stuff out there. So we really appreciate you guys. We can't wait to see you on the Huntley Fall Fest stage, sponsored by First National Bank of Omaha on Saturday. You guys are opening up our day on Saturday, and it's such a great day. Hopefully it won't rain, knock on wood. And if we don't, in fact, have the fest, believe me, we will figure something out. You guys will be playing on a stage. So keep that in mind as well,
Yeah, yeah.
however that happens. But we love you guys. We love that you guys play on our stage and do the after parties after the fest. When everyone's like really tired, they're like, where should we go? Let's go to Sammy's. Who's there?
Anyways, right, yeah.
Who's there? Hi-Fi Superstar. All right, let's go.
All right, one more beer.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, thanks, Jim.
We'll see
See you soon.
All right, take care. Bye.
Tommy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Glenn.
See you later. Hey, don't
All
forget your taxes.
Don't forget Huntley Fall Fest, September 25th, 26th, 27th, Tyke Park District, Huntley Fall Fest grounds right there off 47. Have a great night, and we'll see you there. Thanks, Michael. Thanks,
You
Glenn.
got it.
See you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks. Bye.